let's see here. Let's start with talking about the rogue and JP's thing, and maybe level you to 1 and then 2 just to get our feet wet. And then we'll go with the 1 for the one shot with Alec, and we'll get you all the way to where you need to be for there.
All right. So
I've already done mine for Alec, so
Nice.
I'm good to go there. So, what race did you want for the rogue? You said Tabaxi, right?
For Tabaxi.
Okay, well, that is in the Volo's Guide to Monsters.
Mm-hmm. Which he had. That's why I picked that one.
All right, Tabaxi.
I got the Tasha Cauldron. My sister, my sister, my daughter took the other book.
That's okay. I got it. All right. So all we're concerned with is how to build a Tabaxi.
Right.
So first off, have you decided? Are you going to roll for your abilities? Are you going to use standard array or point buy?
Well,
standard array is you have 6 different numbers and you pick and choose where they go. Point buy is you'll never have more than a 15 and you can kind of adjust it, but it's sort of complicated. I wouldn't recommend it. And then you know what rolling is. So do you want to do the standard array or roll?
What, like 15, 14, 13?
Yeah, that's the standard array.
Now, here, I will say, so this is a great conversation to have when people are learning how to play. Like, I love to roll. And then the more I get to roll, the more fun I have personally.
Mm-hmm.
And you run the risk of having some very low numbers, but you also run the risk of getting some high numbers. And it allows you also to play with your character's personality a little bit. Like, how stupid is he? How, how strong is he? And I think... So, like, when I'm doing a character that I'm going to be playing for a longer period of time,
yeah, exactly.
I love the rolling. I want to roll all the attributes because then I can choose where they go. So that's what I'm going to do tonight for my character for next Friday, next Sunday.
So why don't we do this? I'll be the really scared person who doesn't want to throw a dice, and I'll be the one that puts those numbers down.
Okay.
And John will be the example of courage.
This could be exactly like the what not to do, right?
Yeah. So you're going to do the standard array then. So that's 15, 14, 13, 12, 10, and 8.
So 15, 14, 13, 12.
10, and 8.
Okay.
Unless I messed that up. I am fairly certain that is correct.
All right. So that's what I get to work with.
You're right.
Okay.
And let's see here. Okay, so the Tabaxi. Let's figure out the Tabaxi here. Let's read about this guy. So you have an ability score increase of dexterity and charisma. So your dexterity score increases by 2, and your charisma score increases by 1. So before we figure out which numbers we want to put with those because they get a boost, what do they mean? So you're wanting to be a Tabaxi rogue. Rogues love dexterity because that's the ability to let you dodge. It's the ability to let you go first in initiative. And it's the ability that allows you to do different movements. And you can do a backflip if you have great dexterity. If your dexterity sucks, you're like me trying to do a backflip. Your belly just goes blah, 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 and you fall back. So that's what dexterity is. And what does charisma do? Well, charisma is the basis of some spells, like the Paladin is charisma-based. I believe the Warlock and Sorcerer, if not both of them, one of them is charisma-based. And the other thing that charisma does is when you interact, if you want to be very deceptive kind of rogue, where you're sort of the face of the party and you can tell someone an untruth and they would just believe it, that's because you have a very high charisma. Or if you would rather be someone that lurks in the shadows and is shooting out arrows or something from the blackness of night, well, then maybe you don't need charisma that much. So what kind of Tabaxi rogue do you want to be? And that'll let you know which numbers should go in dexterity and charisma, because those are the ones that your Tabaxi gives you a boost.
All right. to me, a rogue isn't, and I'm just taking the word rogue. To me, a rogue isn't a person that's like in the who's in the shadows. A rogue is more someone who's a wise ass or has a way. A rogue in a movie or TV would probably be like I don't know, like I like the Saint, the movie, the shows, the series The Saint. He's a roguish person. Or basically almost every guy, every male lead in a Disney movie is a rogue. It's like, I don't want to be somebody that's hiding in the corners ready to stab somebody in the back. I'd rather be
Gaston. You want to be Gaston, that kind of character, right?
Well, something like that, yeah.
Okay, well, that to me, I don't know about John, but to me that would mean maybe you have the 14 or the 13 be charisma, and the 15 go in Constitution, because that Constitution's good for every character. That's what gives you your hit points. And then whichever number you don't choose for charisma goes in the Dexterity, because it gets a +2.
Right. Plus, doesn't rogue itself get a Dexterity bump?
I don't believe so, but it gets some other things that help. There are ways to do that.
Okay, so why don't we do this? Since my Dexterity already gets a 2, and that would turn a 13 into a 15 anyways. So
the character he's working on now is for your campaign, JP. He's working on the rogue class as the character for your campaign.
You're right.
Yeah.
I apologize. Yes,
Right.
So I would put since I know I'm going to get the 2 boost, I would put 13 in the Dexterity.
To put it at a 15, that's a good number.
Okay.
Starting out, that's a good number.
That's a +2, so I'm making that a 15.
Okay, so where do you want your 14 to go then? And your 15? I would recommend your highest number, the 15, should go in Constitution, because that's what gives you hit points. That's what lets you survive, poisons and various things like that. That's what really helps you be hardy. And then you get the +1 for charisma. I would do it as the 14. But that's just me. What does Tony?
I'm looking at this right now, and I'm like, so Constitution, yes, is saving throws. Charisma is saving throws, deception, intimidation, performance, and okay. So, all right, I can go with that. So the 15 would go into the Constitution, and the 14 would go into the charisma.
Okay.
Okay. So, but I also get a +1 for that, so my 14 now becomes a 15.
Yes. Now that we've got our Constitution, charisma, and dexterity taken care of, now we need to figure out the rest. Now, are you an idiot, or are you a very brilliant guy, or are you average? If you want to be average, in D&D, the 10 is normal. That's average. If you want to be more than normal, you need to be higher than a 10. If you want to be less than normal and get negative numbers, that's where you go less than 10. So in other words, there's always the one stat that people call the dump stat. That's the one you never really use for your character. That's the one that will probably get the 8. So as far as intelligence goes, what number would you like to pick for intelligence?
Well, I'm thinking the strength would be 12.
Okay.
My intelligence would be the 10.
So wisdom is your dump stat at 8.
My dump stat.
Okay. All right. So let's continue on in Volo's guide for the tabaxi. Now, your lifespan is equivalent to humans. So however old you want to be, is just think you're probably about 100 is you're on death's door.
Oh, that's nice.
I'll like to be
my early to mid 20s.
Okay. Alignment. Tabaxi tend toward chaotic alignments.
So I'll probably be
Now, you can choose whatever alignment you want. I will say that. It doesn't matter what the book says, but I did want to read to you. The book says they tend toward chaotic. They're impulsive and fancy in their decisions. They are rarely evil, and they're cat people, so they're also very curious. So however you want to think about that.
I mean, if I'm a rogue, if I'm neutral.
Now, you can be 3 different kinds of neutral.
Right.
You can be lawful neutral, which is
chaotic. I think maybe a neutral would probably be good for me.
Which neutral?
Chaotic.
Chaotic neutral? Okay. Hey, John, do you have handy those older editions that explain?
I'll go grab them. They're right over here, yeah.
Okay. While he's getting that to explain the chaotic to us, let me continue on here with the... Okay, your size is... You're a bit taller on average than humans.
I want to be 6'4".
Okay, I was about to say, and you're slender, so you're a very skinny 6'4".
I've never
Me
been
too.
6'4" in my life.
And your size is considered medium. So if something requires to know what size creature you are a medium if you're a tabaxi.
Okay.
And your speed, you have a walking speed of 30 feet.
Yep.
Now, it does not tell you, it is not stated here that a tabaxi has a swim speed. So when it doesn't state it, that means it's half of your base walking speed. So you might want to write down your swim speed is 15 unless you have something that augments it.
So just for everybody at home, this is the Player's Handbook volume. I want to say 3, but let's see here. Which Player's Handbook edition?
Hi, everybody.
They say in the corner, but they don't say it here. Core Rulebook 1. I don't know what that was. Definitely not volume 1. But anyways, they go into more detail on the different alignments and give you a ton of information on each one. I don't care for the fact that in the newer volumes they just breeze through it a little bit. I like the deeper breakdowns. So we are looking at are we looking good, evil, lawful? Where are we starting?
Chaotic neutral, but go ahead and read regular neutral and lawful neutral, just so we understand neutral.
So pure neutral is called, quote, each one of these gets a quote about it that you can use to kind of ruminate. So pure neutral is called undecided. A neutral character does what seems to be a good idea. She doesn't feel strongly one way or the other when it comes to good versus evil or laws versus chaos. Most neutrality is a lack of conviction or bias rather than a commitment to neutrality. Such a character thinks of good and evil, good as better than evil. After all, she would rather have good neighbors and rulers than evil ones. Still, she's not personally committed to upholding good in an abstract or universal way. A character named Melee, a wizard who devotes herself to her art and is bored by the semantics of moral debate, could be considered neutral. Some neutral characters, on the other hand, commit themselves philosophically to neutrality. They see good, evil, law, and chaos as prejudices and dangerous extremes. They advocate the middle way of neutrality as the best, most balanced road. The neutrality is the best, most balanced road in the long run. The common phrase for neutral is true neutral. Neutral is the best alignment you can be because it means you act naturally without prejudice and compulsion. Now, every section ends with that sentence. Blank is the best alignment you can be because they want to kind of show you why that one could be fun to play versus this one could be fun to play. Like everyone ends with, it is the best. Right. So here's the chaotic neutral, and they are called the free spirit. A chaotic neutral character follows his whims, and he is individualistic first and last. He values his own liberty, but doesn't strive to protect others' freedoms. He avoids authority, resents restrictions, and challenges traditions. The chaotic neutral character does not intentionally disrupt organizations as part of a campaign of anarchy. To do so, he would have to be motivated either by good, meaning a desire to liberate others, or evil, a desire to make those different from him suffer. Devis, who is a bard, wanders the land living by his wits, and he is chaotic neutral. The common phrase for chaotic neutral is the true chaos. Remember that the chaotic neutral person may be unpredictable, but his behavior is not totally random. He is not as likely to jump off a bridge as to cross it. Chaotic neutral is the best alignment you can be because it represents true freedom from both society's restrictions and a do-gooder's zeal. Hopefully that helped a little bit.
Sounds like me.
There you go. Okay. So let's go on and finish the tabaxi here. Now we're getting to the superpowers you got.
What's up, Paul? Big O is in the chat. What's going on,
Hey,
man?
Simon R is in there too.
All right.
And so is Alec, and so is JP, and so hey, Big Will.
Yeah, I don't like those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Dark vision. You have a cat's keen senses, specifically in the dark. You can see in dim light within 60 feet of you as if it were bright light, and in darkness as if it were dim light. You can't discern color in darkness, only shades of gray. Now, I didn't do this, and I should have. So since JP's watching, I want to highlight this. Make sure you listen to the wording of that, because just because everyone has dark vision doesn't mean, oh, well, now all my night stuff shot, because all that means is you see dim light within 60 feet of you as if it were bright light, and in darkness as if it were dim light. But in both, you can't discern color in darkness, only shades of gray. So if it's dark, you can see, but you can't discern color. Everything's a shade of gray. So things can still be hidden. Things can still, you can still work with that. I wish I had read that and paid attention more when I was doing the DM. And so you have dark vision, Tony.
Okay, so I have 50 shade of gray.
Basically you have 60 feet, so you have 60 shades of gray.
60 shade of gray. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Next up, Feline Agility. Your reflexes and agility allow you to move with a burst of speed. Now, pay attention to the wording here. When you move on your turn in combat, you can double your speed until the end of your turn. Once you use this trait, you can't use it again until you move 0 feet on one of your turns. So for example, your first turn, you want to get to John, but your speed is only 30, and he's 60 feet away. You can choose to run 60 feet and get to John. However, you can't use that again until you take one of your turns and move 0 feet. And then on the next turn after that, if you choose to, you can do 60 again.
So I have to run, do what I got to do. When it's my turn again, I can't move, but I can do what I got to do. And then when my turn comes up again, I can run again.
Yeah, you can do the 60 if you want.
Okay.
Okay, next up is cat's claws. Since you're a cat person, because of your claws, you have a climbing speed of 20 feet. So see, you get something most people don't get, a climbing speed. So you can climb 20 feet. In addition, your claws are natural weapons. So you can make an unarmed strike, and when you do, you get slashing damage equal to 1d4 plus whatever your strength modifier is.
Right.
So if you roll a d4 and you land on a 4, your strength is a what? What is your strength score?
I got a 12. So what is that for a modifier?
Well, 10 and 11 get nothing. 12 and 13 get a +1. So if you were to roll a d4, land on a 4, you could add a +1 from your strength for 5, and your claw attack, your unarmed attack, would do 5 damage. So that's what you get to do since you have claws.
So what is the modifier for a 15?
Every 2 gets something. So 10 and 11 get nothing. 12 and 13 get a 1. 14 and 15 get a 2. 16 and 17 get a 3. 18 and 19 get a 4. And 20 gets a +5.
Okay.
And of course, if you go below 10, you start going to every 2 is a negative.
So my 8 is a -1.
Yes. All right. So that's the cat's claws. You got 2 more things here. Cat's talent. you have proficiency in the perception and stealth skills. So just because you're a tabaxi, you get to circle in on those bubbles if you're doing a paper sheet. The perception and stealth skill, you are proficient. And we'll get to what that means here when we get to looking at the rogue class once we get through with tabaxi. So the last thing for the tabaxi is you can speak, read, and write common and one other language of your choice. So of all the languages in D&D, you can pick an extra one, and you can speak, read, and write in it. So there's what is there? There's Orcish, there's Dwarvish, there's Elvish.
I got a list here if you want.
Primordial, yeah,
Dwarvish, Giant, Halfling, Minotaur. Plenty of odd languages. Draconic, Abyssal, Celestial, Deep Speech.
Anything to do with water?
All right.
Yeah, Primordial. Primordial has something to do with water.
It's on the list.
Really? What the hell's primordial mean anyway?
Well, as a Triton, I can speak primordial. That means the primordial people from like the beginnings of the earth and
Big Will has a legit answer to all stuff. I'm always like, oh, it's like an elephant mixed with a rhino. It's a hell if I know.
All right. Can I pick that later, or that's
yeah? You don't need to.
You can pick that later if you want.
Yeah, okay.
All right, so that's the tabaxi. So now that we got all that filled in, we can go to the rogue, and we got more to fill in. And you're only going to be at first level when we start the campaign, unless JP says otherwise. But let's go ahead and bring you up to the third level before we move on to the one for Alex. That way we can get to your roguish archetype and get our feet wet and explain a little bit on the Arcane Trickster.
Okay, hold on. Rogue is R. Okay,
yes, Rogue is on page 95.
Oh, thank you, sir. He does have an answer for everything.
I'm saying.
Well, I'm already turned to it.
Buckle up.
JP is Big O. The one that we're talking about now. But there's an interim one-shot that Alex DMing.
So we're doing the other way to roll, right? I'm sure Alec knows. 4 6-sided dice, drop the lowest one, right?
Yes.
So I'm going to be rolling my skills while you guys are working.
Okay.
I put a whole thing here.
Nice.
I'm not even I'm just going to bring this over. Look at that. 6, 6, 5. You son of a gun. Drop the 3, keep the 6, 6, 5. This is why you roll the dice, bitches.
No, we have two versions going on here.
Holy cow.
But remember, we're doing all this, Old Wolf, just, to help you out. But if you'd rather restart and scrap all this and do the rolling, you can if you want.
No.
All day.
I said that John was going to be the roller.
Okay. Well, then let's go. Page 95, the road. So before we get into your little leveling block that's at the top of the page on 95.
This is why you don't roll. Take a look here.
So 3, 2, and 1.
3. So get rid of the 1. I got 4. I got 7. There you go. So this is
he has
why
a negative 2 as one of his stats.
I got a 7. So here it is. This is the excitement, folks. You're watching it.
Yeah. So anyway, as I was saying, let's take a look at the class features. And actually, you know what? Let's just let John finish rolling.
No. You keep going. I'm going to take a drink. I need to pace myself.
Okay. Well, on the bottom right corner of page 95, your class features. This is what we were sort of talking about at the first. Your hit die is a D8.
Mm-hmm.
So every time you level up, you can roll the D8, or there's always the option of the average. And what the average is 5 on a D8. You can choose whether or not you want to do that. On level 1, you automatically get 8 plus whatever's supposed to be added. And that's your Constitution modifier, which you will see hit points at first level. 8 plus your Constitution modifier. It's the next thing it says. Now, your hit points at higher levels, 1d8 or 5 plus your Constitution modifier per rogue level after first. So we'll come back to that later.
Okay.
Now, your proficiencies as a rogue, if you didn't get any from being a tabaxi, For armor, you got light armor. That's all you can have as the rogue. You get light armor, which
It's
makes
leather
sense.
or whatever. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Let's see here. Your weapons, you can have simple weapons, hand crossbows, long swords, rapiers, or short swords. You actually get some tools. You get thieves' tools. So that means you can pick locks and stuff.
Okay.
Saving throws. You're proficient in these saving throws. So at the top of the page, you'll want to bubble in your saving throws that you're proficient in is dexterity and intelligence.
So, okay. So here's a stupid question. What does that mean?
Well, that means if John casts a spell or something, and it's a intelligence save for you to not get hit by it, you would roll and add whatever your intelligence bonuses are for your saving throws.
So that would suck because my intelligence is 0.
Yes. But if, let's say we're next to a mountain and it starts to crumble, for you to jump out of the way, that would be dexterity, and you would probably do good on that roll.
Right. A lot of saves are dexterity. Like a huge
lot.
portion of your saves
So
are based on
whenever
dexterity.
I roll plus the 2,
You got that.
Oh, no, that's the ones that you're proficient in. So you get proficiency bonus in addition to that. We'll cover that here in a second. What'd you roll?
Did it again, bitches!
665.
I did it again, bitches.
So he has 2 17s.
Oh,
Yeah, but you gotta understand, my past history with throwing dice is not very good.
I'm so excited by this. This is what sucks about this is I'm only playing this character one night, one night only.
All right. So
I just
anyway,
need one
you
more
have
of those,
skills
and I'm good.
as well. So you get to choose 4 skills from the list that it gives you.
Yeah.
So you got acrobatics, athletics, deception, insight, intimidation, investigation, perception, performance, persuasion, sleight of hand, and stealth.
So I get this. I got to choose 4 of those.
You only get 4 of those. Now, acrobatics is being like gymnastic. That's using a lot of your dexterity. Athletics is strength-based.
You don't, you're a rogue, you're a tabaxi, like you want acrobatics because those are the skills when they're like, hey, jump and catch that rope or climb that. There's lots of little activities. When we were in that dungeon, when Will was like, do this, it's based on your acrobatics. That's your ability to be deft in your movements.
I would think if I'm a cat, I need to do that because
Well, you combine your skills as a rogue plus your race.
Yeah.
Right.
Acrobatics is going to naturally be an area of excellence for you versus the athletics, which is all strength and is going to be a very big challenge.
Now,
Right.
here's a question I have. I don't need to pick stealth again because
Actually, hold on. Before we pick anything, let's go over what all of them mean. But you can have double proficiency in a skill.
how does
if
that
it
work?
allows you.
Yes, you can basically make a skill. Not only are you proficient, you're like so proficient, you get a double bonus in that ability. So last time Alec and I were always going back and forth on who had the better skill in deception. We were joking about how my rogue and his sorcerer kept upgrading our charisma and our skill in deception so that we could roll to try to trick somebody or lie to somebody and succeed because our ability kept, not only were we proficient, but we were doubly proficient in that ability.
So how do I mark doubly
Usually the letter P means you're proficient, and then you circle the letter P, and that shows that you doubled that. So your proficiency bonus gets doubled.
Right. And we'll come to what that is and all that here in a second.
Thank you.
First, let's finish going over these. And remember, you got to pick 4.
Hey, am I taking away from John's role here?
No, not at all. Who gives a crap?
Twice, and we're over here talking about me not knowing what the hell I'm doing. Okay.
That's all right. So anyway, that's acrobatics. The athletics is like strength-based stuff, or
You don't want that.
Yeah.
No, I don't have no.
You don't want anything athletics. No.
Yeah. Deception you
Yes.
can use it as a rogue. You can not use it as a rogue.
So I think stealth and acrobatics are guaranteed locks, but what do you
Yeah.
want for those other two are really the question. So deception is a fun one when you're playing more role playing, but which is a long-term skill. So when we're in a
And
town and you want to
You
lie to somebody,
are doing charisma as one of your higher skills.
exactly.
Right.
So deception is fun. It basically means you just throw out a lie to that guy at the gate when you're trying to get into that town, and then you get to roll your die 20 and add these triple bonuses on top and be like, yeah, did I just lie to that guy? Did he
Deception
buy
might
it?
be one you really want to think about.
It's a fun role-playing bonus.
Oh, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking I need that. I need deception.
And that's what a rogue is going to do. That rogue is going to be that guy that just talks his ass off and just gets out of situations.
But before we pick that,
but there's other ones.
Look at your Tony. You have your sheet out, right? Where it says insight. What does it say? That's charisma.
Where?
Or wisdom.
On my sheet.
Where it has in the parenthesis for insight. What ability score? It's small print. I'm sorry.
Insight. Yeah, insight is wisdom, and I got a -1.
Okay, so that right there to me means let's not even worry about it, because you're not going to have a good roll because you're already a negative in the wisdom. But what insight is your ability to look at when someone's talking to you and know if they're being truthful or know if something isn't quite right.
Yeah, I'm a gullible cat right now.
Yeah. Now, intimidation, that's self-explanatory. You're a rogue, though. Other than being tall, you're not that intimidating. I don't know if I picked that.
Well, I'm a
investigation.
No, wait. I'm like a cat. I'm not a tabby cat. I'm more like a leopard cat, right? So it's like some growling.
I didn't say you couldn't pick it. I'm just saying I'm maybe not. Now, investigation, that can be useful. You can investigate different things like is this what does this mean? Is this a clue?
That's under intelligence, and it's 0. I only have a 10 in that.
Okay.
So
see, I'm just going through all of them.
To answer Big O's question, for Jake, we're kind of organizing 2 campaigns here, because next weekend, Alec White Whale Comics is doing a one-off night game, and I'm creating my character for that. Old Wolf is creating a character that we're going to play for a longer period of time with JP starting in 2022. So that character is going to get a little more chance to breathe. My character gets to start at level 9. So there could be some cross-classing, but I'm starting as a sorcerer. I think I'm just going to roll all the way through 9 levels of sorcerer versus Old Wolf, who's going to be starting at level 1. So he's just doing a level 1 rogue to get prepped for JP's show in January.
And to answer Big O's question, for Alex game,
right,
I'm doing the Dragonborn Paladin.
Right. But are you going to take all 9 levels of Paladin? So cross-classing basically means you can mix, right? So I did a rogue fighter.
We're definitely going to go over that, because that is an option that
I want to say I did 7 levels of rogue, and then I started at that point to be a fighter. So I did 8th level was a 1-level fighter, and then 2-level fighter. So in the end, I ended up with, I think, a 7-level rogue, 3-level fighter character at the end. It added up to 10. Does that make sense, Tony? Like, you can mix your classes. So my character was a rogue fighter. Alec was a sorcerer bard. So at the end, he was jamming on his guitar, but he was still a sorcerer. He could do all these spells, but he was a rogue who could inspire with his music as well. Like, he was crossing those 2 classes.
Gotcha.
And then we move on to perception. And perception is useful, but maybe you don't want to use it. I don't know. Depends on your numbers. But you can perceive what time of day is it if I'm inside a dungeon. You can perceive if, it's that bad. Okay, well, never mind. Performance, that's pretty self-explanatory.
Hey, heavy.
Yeah.
And that's really great for a bard. So like when I did my bard a couple of games back, I took a few levels of performance because he played music in taverns and I wanted him to be able to perform.
That's what that is?
So performance can be a lot of things. It can be dramatic acting. It could be like lying, like you could pretend to be somebody that you're not. or in my character's case, it was like the ability to play a lute. So he would whip out the lute and he would jam at a club and get some like fans. You know, he had fans and things like you can add that.
Unless he rolled bad, then everyone was trying to get away from the sound.
Then they might boo him and kick him out of the club, and you never know.
You see, what I thought it was a night of drinking. You pick up a wench, and the next day you ask her and you ask her how was I, and you roll the dice for performance.
How did you perform? No, this is literally performance on a stage. Yeah, for the most part. Like you could now you could do it in a town to a gate. You could like walk up and pretend to be rich, even though you have no money on you. There's an element of performance to that, but it's also deception.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which a DM would decide which do you roll.
Right. Performance is a good for me too. So
okay. And then the next one is Sleight of Hand, which it's really, really great for a rogue, but you also don't need it at all. So it's up to
how
you.
often do you use it is the real question, right? How often are you going to be using Sleight of Hand? Like I'm gonna look at this card and then I'm gonna put it back, but I kept it, you know.
Yeah. So Sleight of Hand is doing things in front of people without them seeing.
David Blaine.
And it's also just stealing and pickpocketing.
Okay, and then it's stealth.
And which is pretty self-explanatory.
I think stealth is necessary. I think deception is necessary, and I think acrobatics is necessary. Beyond that, you get some choice depending on how you want your character to play.
Yeah. Now, had you not been so high in charisma, John and I probably wouldn't suggest the deception as much, but I would agree with John.
Because
athletics too. So Daymare says he likes athletics over performance or sleight of hand. Just, but it's based on your strength. What is your strength currently?
12,
which means a +1, I believe, right? So you have a slight advantage in strength. You're above average in strength. Athletics is based on that, right? So when you saw Daymare's push open a door with his barbarian, that's based on his athletics check, right? That's going to be an athletics check. Strength checking. But if you were proficient, you would get a bonus.
Yeah, a lot of your weapons and stuff, some of them will be finesse weapons.
Definitely.
Which means you're going to be using your dexterity more so than your strength.
You're never going to,
you don't want to do that.
You do not want a strength weapon, meaning you don't want a two-handed broadsword. You would prefer a bow or a short sword or something like a rapier that's based on your dexterity. That's a finesse weapon.
So out of all those that we went over, Tony, what are the 4, or at least however many you know for sure, what are you going to do?
Okay, so I want to go with deception.
Deception, okay.
Okay.
Great choice.
Okay, these glasses are okay. I want to go with intimidation only because I'm not seeing my character as a tabby, but more as a leopard. So if I'm going to be a 6'4" leopard walking on human type of thing, I think that can be a little intimidating. So I want to use that.
So you got 2 more then.
I'm assuming acrobatics.
Yeah, acrobatics. Yeah, I thought I said that already. Yeah.
Wait, what were the 2 that he said? I heard
acrobatics, deception. Are you doing stealth?
No, intimidation.
Intimidation. So that's 3. Now I got one. I have 1 more. So I'm thinking.
I would suggest stealth already.
Then. So I mean, double stealth. I mean,
yeah, that would. You could start off the game with like a +7 or something crazy.
So Daymare's raises a great point, which is how often do you make those checks? Intimidation is a great tool, but how often are you going to be trying to intimidate somebody?
I don't know.
Plus, we probably are going to have characters that are more suited for that too. Possibly, like Daymare's is probably going to be something like a barbarian or a paladin or maybe something like that. I think, John, you were thinking of some sort of paladin for the JP campaign, right?
For JP's campaign, yeah, but I still got to think it through because if it's a water-based campaign, I don't want to drown in my armor.
Well, you don't have to have the heavy armor, and you don't start off with full plate. So
no, it's true. So
I
yeah,
mean,
his point is not necessarily, hey, what do I get the best bonus in, but what do I use more?
right.
Which is a good way to look at it.
All right, so I'll probably add it to stealth. So I get proverbial
stealth. Yeah, stealth is something you're going to use a lot. Like, can I sneak past this guy? Can I?
If you
around?
didn't pick stealth, we would end this thing right now. That's how important it is for a rogue.
So stealth. I heard deception. I heard, what are the other ones?
All right, so what I have marked down here is the stealth. I have perception.
No. Yes, perception.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah, perception's a great one. You use a lot, but I don't remember that being about it. Okay, cool.
Oh, wait a minute. Maybe it wasn't.
Or do you mean deception?
Deception.
Deception.
Right, so stealth, deception, intimidation, and I got one more now.
Acrobatics.
Acrobatics is a guarantee. I feel like intimidation
I
is
thought you already said it.
Let's go for it.
So intimidation is still the bottom rung one, in my opinion. Like the other three are a lock. The other three, and intimidation is there a better one kind of choice. I'm gonna roll again.
So let's go with acrobatics for your skills from your skills after we figure out what John just rolled.
I rolled 2 1s. That's never a good thing. So I got a 9.
That's almost Yahtzee.
That's a 9.
He's got at least 2 negative numbers.
That's a 9. So I'm gonna put that. It's either intelligence or wisdom at this point. I'm going to throw it on intelligence for now.
All right.
But I got constitution and charisma high, strength and intelligence low.
Yeah. So looking at acrobatics, Tony, how you figure out the skills is we are proficient in that. So first off, acrobatics is tied to your dexterity.
Yes.
So what is your dexterity bonus?
+2.
+2.
Nice.
So you got a +2 for that number. Now,
which means you also use that to hit. What you use that to hit on several dexterity tools, like a rapier, sword, or a bow or a crossbow. You get that bonus to hit on a dexterity weapon.
The acrobatics you are proficient in, so you get the 2 plus you get the proficiency bonus. And at level 1, if you look on the page 95, it tells you beside level it has proficiency bonus. And what it tells you what it is for every level. So for level 1, you get a +2, which means for acrobatics, you would get a +4.
Oh.
And then if we go to stealth, what is it's dexterity too, isn't it?
Yeah.
Most of them are going to be dexterity based because a rogue is a dexterous character, right? It's all about sleight of hand, quickness of finger, nimble feet, and things like that.
The fun thing about that is we already got a stealth proficiency for being a tabaxi.
Right.
So you get a 2 from your dexterity.
Yep.
A 2 from your proficiency bonus.
Boom.
Plus another 2 because you're doubly proficient. So you get a +6.
To which skill? For your stealth. So that means when you want to be quiet and sneak around, you roll your die 20 and add 6. So the lowest you could possibly roll is a 7 and the highest is a 26.
See, that is probably where everybody was rolling over 20 and I'm like drooling like an idiot going,
because you have all these little bonuses based on your race and your study, that you have spent time studying these rogue skills, and when you perform something within your realm of skill base, you get a bonuses for doing that. Versus my rogue, if he tried to move a boulder, would have an epic fail because he's just like, this is not in my realm of skill. But if you asked him to sneak quietly up some stairs, I can do that for you.
And that right there is why I wanted to do this, because I knew something wasn't quite clicking, and now you got it, and you're going to be amazing. And like Daymare said here, he had a +9 to hit with all of his stuff.
Right.
So that's how he almost never missed.
Here we go. Can I back up? I'm a little drunk.
So a 12.
I got a 13, right? Because there's a 4 right there.
Oh,
so I got a 13. Well, hey. Not so bad. It's not a single digit.
I mean, Daymare's, every time he rolled, he was like and
So
plus-
because his character was bigger in size, so had all these strength bonuses. Because he was a barbarian fighter, he had all these strength hitting bonuses. He would get all these bonuses to his attack. If he was hitting with the right weapon and doing it in the right way, he was like hitting the center of a bullseye and getting all these bonuses added on, right? If he tried to do some acrobatic move, it would be outside of his realm of skill. If he tried to solve some intelligence puzzle, right, it's outside of his skill set.
Yeah.
But Alec, if he tried to do that strength skill, pick up a two-handed sword and swing it, he's going to have all these negatives attached because it's way outside of his skill set.
Now, let's finish up with your proficiency skills here. You had deception. That is what skill is that?
That's charisma plus
Charisma.
2.
That's charisma. So your charisma bonus is the same, right? Plus
What's
2.
that? What's that? Plus 2?
Yeah.
Boom.
Okay.
So you got all these bonuses to being a liar and a sleight of hand trickster.
4 for your charisma, the 2 plus your proficiency bonus for
So
deception. So you get a plus 4.
On deception.
The fourth one was intimidation, right?
On deception, yes.
Okay.
He was doing deception.
Intimidation was the next one, right?
Yes.
The final one. So
Also based on charisma, I believe.
Yes.
So it'd be the same thing.
Yep. So your charisma and deception are the same. Oh, sorry, your intimidation and deception.
Yeah.
So
Whether you're trying to scare and intimidate somebody or whether you're trying to trick somebody, it's all based on your same presence in the room.
JP, how you doing, JP? He says, "Okay, roll my d20 for deception, and I get a whatever. I would add 4. I would add 4 to that.
You're going to add your
Yep.
You're going to add your charisma plus your proficiency, which is a separate bonus because you are proficient in that. You are skilled in that.
So we're creating a shortcut by going to deception and putting a 4 there. So you automatically know if it's deception plus 4.
Okay.
Because
So if you
as you level up, your proficiency bonus can go up as well.
Yeah.
So when you're level 10, you're not just adding 2, you might be adding 4 plus your skill in that area.
In this area where it says proficiency bonus, I should put +2 here. There's a little field,
Yes, in the field that says proficiency bonus, pencil in a plus 2.
We are all starting at +2. When you get to level 5, usually it goes up.
Yeah.
So when you get to level 9, it goes up again.
Right.
So it'll just steadily rise because you've had experience, and that adds to your ability in that skill area.
But you want to know what's so awesome about a rogue? I've played a rogue. John's played a rogue. You know what's great about it? We're going to move real quick since we're talking about your skills to the features of a level 1 rogue. You get expertise, sneak attack, and thieves' cant. It's on the page 95 at the top. You see in the green bar, level 1 has on your features, you get expertise, sneak attack, and thieves' cant. What expertise is, if you turn the page to 96, at first level, you can choose 2 of your skill proficiencies or 1 of your skill proficiencies and your proficiency with thieves' tools. Your proficiency bonus is doubled for any ability check you make that uses either of the chosen proficiencies. And at 6th level, you can choose 2 more, which means, would you like to get another bonus to your stealth?
Hell yeah.
The answer is yes. When someone asks you if you're a god, you say yes.
Hell yes. Okay.
So what that means is for your stealth, for example, if we pick stealth, that means your proficiency bonus whenever you roll stealth is doubled, which basically just means since it's a 2 and you have a 2 for a regular number, you just add another 2. So you get a +6.
No, right now it's a 6.
Oh, then
you're doubling. Yeah, you're doubling the proficiency.
You get a +8 then because you get another 2.
Right.
It's great.
He's happy about that.
It starts to really stack when you really get to the center of a target of an area where your character is highly proficient, something that they're really good at.
And very few classes can do this where they get double and triple proficiencies. That rogue is one of the few.
Right.
So you picked a good one. Now here's the question. Do you want to choose one skill and the thieves tools? So whenever you use thieves tools, you get an extra boost, or do you want to just choose 2 skills? So you can choose your stealth and say your intimidation, or you can choose the stealth and thieves tools. So whenever you operate the thieves tools, you get a little extra bonus whenever you roll.
I don't want to get greedy. And from past experience, we needed somebody to pick a lock. So I'm going to go with, I'll take the thieves tools and a bump.
Okay. So let's see here. So thieves tools, that would mean whenever you roll for thieves tools, you get you're proficient with them, so you get a bonus of 2 plus another bonus of 2 because you double the proficiency.
So it's a +4. So if I go to pick a lock, oh, here we go.
Sorry.
9.
9, yeah. It's a 9. 2
9.
4s and 2 1s. Ouch.
So yeah, basically if you go to pick a lock and you got to roll a d20 and it's a say a 13 is what you roll and the DC's a 15, well,
I rolled a 17.
You got a proficiency in your thieves tools there. So not only did you get the 15, but you're already proficient. So you actually rolled a 17. So you definitely got it, even though you only technically rolled a 13, you got a 17.
And so, every time we get to a door that needs to be picked and I roll that 17 against a 15, I'm going to look at you going,
yeah.
Bring that shit on.
Before we get to the sneak attack and the thieves camp, let's back up on page 96 and pick out what your starting equipment's going to be.
So what are we?
Now, we are missing something, and that's your background, but we're going to get to that after we get to your equipment.
Too much.
So each bullet, there's 4 bullets. You get to pick something for each bullet. So we start with...
Where are these bullets?
Yeah, on 96, you get A, a rapier, or B, a short sword. So which one would you prefer? Now, before you choose that, what we do is we flip in the book here to the weapons list, which I will be getting to here in a second. It is on page 149. So if we look at the rapier,
so close.
Let's see, where is the rapier? Okay, the rapier is 1d8 piercing damage, and it is a finesse weapon. The short sword is 1d6 piercing, but it's a finesse weapon and considered light. So you got to decide, do you want just finesse and light? Do you want the d8, or do you think you'll be okay with a d6? What would you prefer?
Hold on.
And that's on page 149 where the weapons are listed. Hey, if any of you are a moderator, go ahead and block that Stephanie Wood. That's one of them bot things.
I'll get in there. Just give me a sec. Sorry.
Yeah, you're not a moderator, John.
Am I not a mod on your channel? What the heck?
No, it was everyone was picking you for a while there, so I went with Alec and not you.
Good for you.
I can report her. That's all I did.
I'm going to go with rapier.
Rapier, okay.
It'd be like a little kind of like pirated type of classy.
All right. Now this
Alec is a white whale. Alec is in there.
Yeah. So their next bullet is you can pick between a short bow and a quiver of 20 arrows, or you get the option of a short sword again. Now, let's take a look at this short bow and a quiver of 20 arrows. A short bow is 1d6, but you have an 80-foot range or a 320-foot range, but you got to use both hands. But you don't have a shield, so you can use both hands. Now, let me explain what that range means. 80/320, you see that?
Yep.
That means you got 80 foot of range, or you can roll with disadvantage and have range up to 320 feet. You would just roll with disadvantage. So that's what that means. So basically, you got 80 foot of range, and every time you hit, it's 1d6 piercing, plus anything we will add, but we do all that later.
Okay.
Or you can do the short sword. Now, you already chose something over the short sword. Would you like to go with the bow and arrow?
Well, I wouldn't mind having the option of doing a sniper thing at 80. So why don't we go with the short bow also? Because I also get daggers, right? So as a rogue, I also get the dagger type of thing, right? So that's also
Oh yeah, you that's the last bullet. You'll have daggers. Don't worry.
right. So let's go with the short bow, that in case I have to be far away and shoot.
And as a rogue, you can do that from shadow, and it's great.
Okay, so let's go with the short bow.
All right. So that brings us to the third bullet, and you can choose between a Burglars Pack, a Dungeoneers Pack, or an Explorers Pack. And there is a list, I believe, in this book. I don't know if I can find it. Maybe John can.
What are they? They're a burglar. Why don't I just go with the burglar? I would think.
Well, you need to see what's in each one. That way you can make
okay. I
a
apologize.
decision. Because each one, see, gives you different things. So there's a list.
Sorry, I'm not open to that page.
Let me just go with Google. I don't know if it's in this book or if it's in the Dungeon Master's Guide. Or
I'm trying to figure out what abilities to
what is in all the
modify for my
different
character.
packs in Dungeons and Dragons Guide.
If you go, let's see here. I'm sure it's in the like equipment section.
Okay, here we go. The Burglars Pack.
Okay.
You get a backpack, a bag of 1,000 ball bearings. You get, let's see, 10 feet of string, a bell, 5 candles, a crowbar, a hammer, 10 pythons, a hooded lantern, 2 flasks of oil, 5 days of rations, a tinderbox, and a water skin. You also get 50 feet of hempen rope strapped to the side.
Okay.
The Dungeoneers Pack is a backpack, a crowbar, a hammer, 10 pythons, 10 torches, a tinderbox, rations, and a water skin. You also get the 50 feet of the rope. And the Explorers Pack, or was it the Entertainers Pack?
Explorers.
The Explorers Pack is a backpack, a bedroll, a mess kit, a tinderbox, 10 torches, 10 days of rations, and a water skin, plus the 50 foot of rope. So I can tell you right now from experience, being a rogue, I would go with the Burglars, but it's up to you. You get those 3 options.
No, that sounds good. Let's go with that.
All right. So I would suggest looking it up online, or if it's in the book, do
It's
this
in the
later.
book on page 151.
151. Great.
The equipment packs are all listed there with what they have in them.
Ah,
And the Burglars Pack is worth more than the Dungeoneers and the Explorers
that's because
Pack.
it has
straight
more
up.
in it. Yeah.
So
So you always have that right there to know what you have in your pack, which is very useful in Dungeons and Dragons. Don't forget your equipment that you have, because things can happen there. All right. So let's see. That brings us to the last bullet. You don't choose this. You just get it. Leather armor, 2 daggers, and thieves' tools. Now, just for reference, so you know, the dagger is 1d4. It is a finesse light weapon, and it's also throwable. You have a range of 20 feet, or with disadvantage, you can go up to 60 feet. And your leather armor has no disadvantage for stealth. And the way you do that, to figure out what your AC is, your armor class, it's an 11 plus your dexterity modifier. So what's your dex modifier? It's a +2, right?
Yes.
So your AC is 13 at level 1.
13.
Yeah, because of your leather armor.
No. That's no. That it was in the back of my head to ask you. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So that's the expertise at your starting equipment. Now the sneak attack. Oh man, me and John, we love that sneak attack. If you'll notice, flipping back to page 95, your sneak attack increases as you level up.
Okay.
Don't forget that it increases as you level up. You get 1d6 when you start at level 1. But what is sneak attack? This is so awesome. Check this out. Page 96. You know how to strike subtly or subtly.
Yeah.
So I don't know how to pronounce it. You can be all sneaky.
Yeah. Just don't say the B.
The foe's distraction. Once per turn, you can deal an extra 1d6 damage to one creature you hit with an attack. So first off, that part of the sentence right there. First, you have to hit them with a regular attack. That's when you can use the.
So just making striking somebody means you can throw another die 6 onto your damage,
but
if certain qualifications are met.
Yeah, but you got to meet these requirements.
Which is why sometimes my rogue last game was holding back because I was waiting till somebody was like, so once Daymare's charged in and distracted an enemy, I could sneak around and just hit him and then get an extra die 6 or whatever thrown onto my damage because they were looking at this giant barbarian and distracted, and my little guy could sneak in and be like, and get a couple extra damage thrown in. So
the thing is, you have to have advantage on the attack roll, and the attack must use a finesse or ranged weapon. So that's where those finesse weapons come in handy.
You're always going to use that kind of weapon anyway, so that qualification is just done. Second is you need to have advantage. How do you get advantage is based on a lot of other rules.
Now, you can have advantage because someone's prone. They're lying down. You can have advantage because they're focused on the barbarian and in combat, they haven't seen you. You got advantage there. If you flank, in other words, you are on the opposite side of someone else that's in your party and the bad guy's in between, you're flanking, automatic advantage. Or you can also use it if you don't need advantage on the attack roll if another enemy of the target is within 5 feet of it. So the target is the bad guy, an enemy of the target is your fellow party. So if John's standing within 5 feet of the bad guy, it doesn't matter if you're flanking or not, you can use your sneak attack.
Okay.
So which is why I waited most times for you guys to wade in, because once you were fighting somebody, I could whip around behind that character, get my sneak attack thrown in, and if I roll and just make contact and hit, then not only do I get my weapons damage, maybe it was a die 12, now I'm throwing in a couple of die 6s because I'm getting my sneak attack bonus thrown in, and I roll all these dice and get all these damages.
Now, but you have to be near that.
I've got to be. Not only do I need to be near, but somebody else needs to be fighting it already.
So that's like a second motion to get there, though.
Yeah, my movement would be used getting into the action. But I would be holding my movement and my action, waiting for somebody else to get in there first. So Daymare's wades in with his big sword and hits this thing, and it's focused on him. And then my turn, I use my 30 feet of distance. I get right in there, but I get behind him. Now I'm rolling advantage, which means I get to roll twice to see if I hit. I roll 2 die 20. Whatever one's higher is my chance to hit. Then I add my do I hit bonuses, right? Once I've hit that guy, then I roll my, hey, my rapier is a die 12. Hey, my sneak attack's a die 6. I roll that. I'm getting all these bonuses thrown on because I'm doing it
short story, you have advantage on the attack roll, you can use your sneak attack. Or if one of the party members is within 5 feet of the bad guy, you can use your sneak attack. You cannot use your sneak attack if the enemy is incapacitated or if you have disadvantage on the roll. Regardless of whether you hit or not, if you have disadvantage or they're incapacitated, you can't use the sneak attack.
All right, question. Actually, what John said. He rolled twice.
That's because he had advantage for whatever reason.
So if I did if I held back,
and then you were able to get in a flanking position where you had advantage, You
So
would roll 2 die 20 and pick the higher one because you have an advantage to hit that character.
So I held back, and then you go, all right, Tony, your turn. I said, okay, I want to do a sneak attack. That's when I would roll the 2 20s.
Yeah.
You'd say, "Can I get advantage? I'm going around behind him."
Oh, I have to ask.
Do I get advantage if I move around behind him? If you can cover that distance, and the DM thinks logically, yeah, they wouldn't see you coming. Your stealth gives you advantage, so now you can roll 2 dice to see if you can hit.
Okay,
even better.
That's what I want to ask.
And if you roll a 20 on one of those, then you've critically succeeded in your stealth attack.
Mm-hmm. And I would say a rule of thumb, Tony, is if you guys bust in the room and there's a bad guy and he gets to fighting the barbarian and you're hanging back, and then the barbarian's and fighting this guy and you can go behind him,
that's advantage.
Odds are you've got advantage. And if you've got advantage, you've got sneak attack.
Right, because as a cleric, I didn't think I had second throwdowns or second moves, whatever. So it's like, so you, John saying that you get second throwing 2 die and pick a different. That's like totally like going, because I only thought you had 1 shot. You know what I'm saying?
It depends on the situation, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Now, the last thing for level 1, by the way, I think you get starting gold to average is 15. So I just put 15 gold down. That's what I do. But the last thing you get for first level is Thieves' Cant, which John and I had some fun with that during the last game, which it's basically just, a super secret language that only other thieves know. That's all that is. And you can make up what it is with JP, however you guys want to do that. If you want to have it used, you can. If it's just something that's there and you never use it, that's okay too.
I will say Big Will's Scottish accent is phenomenal. I was like, wow, am I watching Outlander? This is amazing. So he and I had a lot of fun with that, yeah.
So, that's level 1 for the road.
All right, now can I have a few questions?
Okay.
Intervention.
Intervention. What do you mean?
Maybe I'm saying it wrong. Okay, I have this open and I have this open.
Okay, hold on. Let me make you big on the screen so we can read that. It's been a while since I've had initiative.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, your initiative is your dexterity bonus.
So whatever I get for dexterity, which is the +2, I put +2 here.
Right, unless something else augments it, your dexterity bonus is your initiative bonus.
Sometimes you get bonuses to your initiative.
Yeah, right, so if you roll 15 in initiative, you get an extra 2. So you would roll a 17 in initiative. Now, what's that? I can't read that.
I
still can't read that.
Still can't read it. Just read it to us. Get your glasses on.
No.
Maybe we should get you the larger print of these.
I'll look it up. Don't worry about it.
Okay. Was that the last question?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, good.
No, it's not so good.
I asked a question in the chat, but we'll get to Tony. So I have a +1 that I can add to either intelligence or wisdom, and would take either intelligence, wisdom to a 10, meaning I wouldn't have any negatives to that one. Just curious what the chat thinks. Intelligence versus wisdom for a sorcerer, which one's a better one to have a 0 at versus a -1? Tony, I wish I could read that one. I'm sorry that I can't.
Yeah.
Get your magnifying. Where's the magnifying glass?
Yeah. What can you make it out at all?
Yeah, I think so. I'll just text it to John. He can tell me.
Just snap a photo and text it to me. I love it. I'm ready. I'm just ready.
With Dave Maris. I would rather have greater wisdom than I would intelligence, because there's more wisdom saves than there is intelligence saves.
So I was looking at both, and here's some of the things that you get intelligence saves for: Arcana, History, Investigation, Nature, and Religion, which are good. But I think the one Big Will's thinking of on the wisdom side is Perception.
Well, that and
Perception is based on
spells.
your wisdom, which you do a ton of perception checks all through
that
the
and
game.
spells. I think there's more spells with a wisdom save than intelligence.
That might be true as well. Obviously, my spells, my attack is not based on any of that, so I don't need to worry about intelligence or wisdom as a sorcerer. That all comes out of charisma. So that's separate.
So
I was just trying to decide which kind of saves I would come across more often.
Right,
Dave
now,
is saying intelligence, you saying wisdom. Okay, there
I
you
don't
go.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm good to stay a little later if we need to. But there's one thing before we're done with our rogue, we need to figure out the background. Now, Tony, what kind of background do you want? And what I mean by background is on page 121, it talks about personality and background. And if you flip to page 127, it gives you different backgrounds that you can choose. And some of these have equipment you get,
What page?
languages, or you can get more proficiencies in different things.
What page was this?
It's on page 127. That's where the backgrounds start.
Okay.
Like, for example, here, let me see. If you want to be a former criminal, you can get another proficiency boost in
Really?
deception and stealth.
More stealth? I can live with that.
I mean, all day, just take the stealth all day.
No kidding.
Now,
All right.
before you do that, let's make sure. Let's read the criminal here. You're an experienced criminal with a history of breaking the law. You spent time among other criminals. You have
facts.
contacts with them. You're far closer than most people to the world of murder, theft, and violence that pervades the underbelly of civilization.
Also true.
And you have survived up to this point by flouting the rules and regulations of society.
mean,
and for
wow.
that,
They really got you.
yeah, and for that, you get proficiency in deception and stealth, which, unless someone tells me wrong that I'm wrong, I believe that stacks. So you get another bonus for deception and stealth. You get one type of gaming set, which would be like dice, cards, or something like that.
I don't want
Plus-
dice. I'll take
Plus
cards.
another proficiency in thieves' tools. So you get another boost to that. Plus you get another crowbar, because I think you got one in your pack already. You get a set of dark common clothes, including a hood. And this is where you get your gold. You get a pouch containing 15 gold.
So I get 30 gold on top of double upping my stealth and upping my deception.
Have you mentioned Swashbuckler at all? Because that's the route
I
went.
only have
Okay.
the player's handbook.
I can-
all the others that you can choose from, I don't have available.
So I
to
bought
me.
this book, Tony, online called Xanthar's with an X, by the way. Z,
Yeah.
I know it makes a Z sound. Xanthar's Guide to Everything.
My daughter has that.
So this one describes the Swashbuckler Rogue. And that's an option that you can go down for a rogue. The reason I picked it was because I wanted to be eventually a dual wielding rogue, meaning I would have 2 finesse weapons, 2 swords. I would be a swordsman so that I could try to swing with one weapon, miss, swing with the other, and still get my sneak attack bonus on that weapon
Wait a second.
and keep rolling.
We're talking about two different things, though.
But that happened because
we're
I chose
talking
that
about-
route. I was able to
Yeah.
get there when I got to level 8 or whatever. I could continue that path.
We're talking about background,
Yes.
and he's wanting to go Arcane Trickster, so he wouldn't be able to do the Swashbuckler until he at all. Actually, you can't do
so-
2 different subclasses.
Exactly. You've got to decide, but that doesn't happen at level 1, does it?
No, it happens at level 3. So you can.
So that's when you get to level 3, you choose
Yeah.
your path as a rogue.
And that's good because you can play level 1, you play level 2, and then that will inform you which of all your choices do you want to pick. So
There you go.
there is the Arcane Trickster. In this book that you said your daughter has for the rogue, you can be inquisitive, the Mastermind, the Scout, or the Swashbuckler.
And the original 3 were Thief, Assassin, and Arcane Trickster. Those are the original 3 subclasses you could go with.
Right.
But the other guides allow you to diversify a little bit more and look at options. And the reason I like Swashbuckler is because it had what they call fancy footwork. So you were allowed to like dance into a fight, do some movements, and then get out of. I was able to get out of combat like at the same time. I could use, if I had a little movement left, I could get out of the combat and disengage.
Yeah. So Daymare's, what he meant to suggest, since we were in backgrounds, was the pirate.
Wouldn't that be more of a sailor?
Well, actually, if you flip to sailor
again, and use your daughter's book at some point, you can look at it.
Yeah, you can
under the rogue. Within this book, there's a rogue section, and when you go there, you can look at options as a rogue.
But
things, scout, mastermind, and there's a lot of options within inside.
But if I did that, so that option just adds to the 3 that's in this book.
Right.
Exactly. They're just alternatives.
It's a supplemental book, basically. But what Daymare's was talking about was a pirate. And if you look at your background on page 139, the sailor, it has a variant that you can choose, and you're a pirate instead.
That's not in your book. Sorry, that's in your daughter's book.
No, that's in this book.
Yeah, I just have sailor.
No, the pirate's in this book too. It's on page 139. It's a variant of the sailor you can choose if you want.
Right here. Yeah. Okay.
But it doesn't. It's the same exact skill proficiencies, tool proficiencies, and equipment as the sailor, which would only give you an athletics and perception boost for your skills. Which, I mean, that's fine. You can choose whatever background. I just figured you would want to spam the doubling again. That's why I chose to have you look at criminal.
All right. Well, that doesn't happen until 3, right?
No, the background happens now.
The background happens now. The subclass happens at 3. So background allows you like a little bit of a backstory for your character that might add to the subclass you choose later on. So I went pirate and then swashbuckler because they went together, and I kind of had a path I wanted to go down.
And you can do the same thing, or you can be a criminal and turn into an arcane trickster, or do something with a scout and be a guild artisan, or whatever.
Because they each have their own little bonuses that go with them, you know?
Yes, but if you're wanting to double up on things like deception and stealth, the criminal is probably the best one for that, and in the backgrounds anyway.
I hear you. Okay,
it's a lot. I know.
It's a lot of choices.
More than I expected. It's just
so. There's a section in the book that you've got called backgrounds, and if you're in that section, there's just options to look at. So for my sorcerer, I'm looking at hermit, which is a choice where he has lived in isolation, and there's certain bonuses that come with his study and being on his own, right? That might be useful later on when he narrows his focus on his skills and his spells, right? For you, you're looking at what is the background that made him a rogue, that forced him down a certain path. And those bonuses you get for picking that path, pirate or whatever, can stack with another set of bonuses you get when you choose your subclass later in 3rd level or 4th, whatever.
So,
I mean, I'm really, I know you don't want me to be, but I'm really stuck on the trickster.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You, man. If you enjoy it, play it, you know?
Yeah, you're the one playing it. You choose. We're just making suggestions.
I mean, I'm stuck on the trickster, and
then be the trickster.
Whether I succeed on it or not, that's what I want to be. So I guess I'm thinking with the criminal would fit better for the trickster.
Okay.
But that type of thing. I don't know, because I mean,
well, then if the criminal is what you're going to pick, then let's finish the background. Now, if you'll see criminal specialty, you don't have to do that, but if you want to, you can pick between those 8, or you can roll a D8, and that tells you which one your specialty.
I'll roll D8.
All right.
Because I bought something. I don't have to use the of a shot box. Here we go. And I'm using yours. Okay, here we go.
Be careful.
No shit. You see me roll?
So they recommend online hermit Noble, and Sage as the best 3 to choose between as far as backgrounds for
What'd you roll?
Arcane Trickster. What did you roll?
4.
I don't know what that equals. What does it mean?
Offense. Your specialty is being offense. So that
I mean, you're
actually works out
offensive.
great with your high charisma.
I already know I'm offensive.
No,
Oh.
offense, as in you're the person that gets rid of the
The
stolen
guy that
goods.
sells the stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Now you have a feature with the criminal class. You have a reliable and trustworthy contact who acts as your liaison to a network of other criminals. You know how to get messages to and from your contact, even over great distances. Specifically, you know the local messengers, corrupt caravan masters, and seedy sailors who can deliver messages for you. So it would be fun, I think, John, tell me if you agree, that you name and describe who your contact is, and you can give that to JP, and you guys can work with that.
Where did you find fence? Which book has fence in it?
It's a 129. That he gets to choose a criminal specialty and roll a D8.
It was
Page 129 in the handbook.
Gotcha. So he went criminal as his background and then rolled fence. Got it. Sorry.
right.
I thought I was trying to figure out where we were.
So I'm reading the feature criminal contact, John.
Yeah, I got it now. I'm on the right
Create
page.
a character or like a name and a race and give it to JP and say, that's my contact. I think that would be fun. What do you think, John?
It could definitely be.
All right. So is JP here?
Yeah, JP's here.
He's passed out. Oh, there he is.
Yeah.
It also needs to fit the backstory that you choose to write for your character, is what he's
Well, that's what we're doing is going through these personality traits and ideals. We're helping him flesh out his character to help write that back.
So are you on page 129, Tony?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So they give you some options for personalities, for ideals, for bonds. You can certainly stray from the 6 choices they give you for flaw and whatever.
Yeah.
But that gives you a starting point. You might look at one and say, "Ooh, I can build on that as a background for my character." If he's a criminal and he was a fence, his specialty was selling hot items, the things that were stolen.
Yeah.
All right.
So then you can build.
You and I will talk later after because I'm already into like 3 tall height, drinks here.
Had a lot of highballs, yeah.
Yeah, I got big highballs, very highball.
So let's just stop with the background there. Then we know where to turn to in the page. We know the idea of this character.
Yep.
It's starting to really look good. So before we move on to the one for Alex game, and we do that, let's just go over when you get to 3rd level and you hit that Arcane Trickster. Let's just talk a little bit about what entails with that, so you're not blindsided when you get up to it. So let's see. You get to be an Arcane Trickster.
97.
Yeah, page 98. The main thing you got to pay attention to about the Arcane Trickster is your spell casting. Look at this breakdown here for each level. So at 3rd level, you'll get 3 cantrips. You'll know 3 spells, and you get 2 first-level spell slots. Now that's familiar to you from the cleric,
Right, but there's only certain ones I can do. Illusion, that type of thing.
right? But what is your intelligence?
My intelligence is 10.
Okay, so you're going to have a weak spell casting ability then, because for the Arcane Trickster, intelligence is your spell casting ability. So your DC would be 8 plus your proficiency bonus, which at level 3 would be 2, plus your intelligence modifier, which would be 0. So you would have a DC of 10, which is really easily broken. And if you were to attack someone with a spell, it would be your proficiency bonus plus your intelligence modifier. So that would mean you have a modifier of 2. So
my DC is 10.
So you can still be an Arcane Trickster. And when it comes to doing your ability scores, you can put them in intelligence if you want. But I'm just saying, with what we did at the start, you're going to be a little weak. So the way to combat that is make sure when you pick your spells, It's things that automatically work, or that even if someone saves against them, they still get damage, or maybe their utility.
I mean, I was thinking it's more of a spell that illusion or something, you know, something.
So
Or
stuff like that's like utility. That would be great. You could use that totally. You have so many spells, you don't have to pick things that cause damage all the time.
no, I don't think I can.
Yeah.
I'm as a rogue and as a trickster. I may have cantrips and but the spells I can't are more illusion and deception
Right.
than causing pain and damage.
And it's also good for the Arcane Trickster that you pick all your stuff from the wizard spell list. So you have like 300 something spells.
Yeah.
That's all levels, mind you, but you got a ton of spells. So even though I said you're a little weak, that's still okay because you can still have a lot of spells and be great.
Yeah,
at Arcane Trickster.
I know that's where I have to pick from.
Yeah.
And I'm able to pick from those 300 spells. I'm limited to what spells I can throw.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go a little faster now and take care of the Alex thing. So we got you started for first level. You know how to level up, and if not, we're here. So for Alex game, we're at 9th level. And what did you say you're going to be?
I'm going to be a Dragonborn Paladin.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey, Dragonborns are cool, man.
I know, but I think that I don't. That's a big deal for me. I think.
You'll be fine.
Yeah,
All right, so Dragonborn, we don't have to worry about backgrounds or anything. You can just be whatever because this is a one shot.
Right.
So all we need to pay attention to for this is, are you going to roll or do the standard array?
I have to get. I don't have a. I gotta print myself up a. While you guys are talking, I'm trying to print up a print here of. I might as well just. Oh God, this is not killing. This is killing me. I need a sheet. Screw this. I own this book. I'm gonna write in the back of the book.
Hey, that's worked.
Okay.
I tore my pages out of the player's handbook and copied them.
Okay, all right, here we go. Let's roll. It's a one shot, right?
All right.
Let's roll. And John's eating like usual, so let's roll.
Okay.
I haven't had anything to eat since breakfast, so I'm very hungry.
All right, so I got to roll what? 6s?
We're going to roll 6 different times, 4 dice each time, and you're going to use the highest 3 numbers.
And I'm rolling what, 6s?
D6s, yes.
Okay, so I'm rolling 4 of them.
Uh-huh.
All right, here we go. First one is, all right, wait a minute. What do I need the most of as a paladin?
Well, let's roll the numbers and we'll figure that out later.
Okie dokie, pokey. Okay, hold on. Oh, I don't know how to I got a camera here. I don't even know how to switch it over to. Okay, so I have 2 4s and a 6, and the 1 is a smaller number, so I'm throwing that aside.
Right, so you got 2 4s and a 6.
So that's 6. That's 8, and that's 14.
Okay, so write down 14.
You
got to do that 5 more times now.
Right, 14.
As a paladin, strength and then charisma are usually the top 2, just so you know.
Yeah.
Okay, so this one is 2 5s and 2 2s, so that makes it a 12.
Well, great.
So, okay, so this one is a 5, a 6, a 4, and a 2, so that makes it 15.
Nice. You haven't had a bad roll yet?
Somebody's rolling like a freaking champ. I had 3 single digits.
Don't jinx me over here.
You're already good. I can jinx all I want.
I'm not even looking. I'm not looking. I throw them down and I look at the numbers. I'm done. Okay, 6, a 5,
Wow.
a 2, and a 1.
So
Okay,
a 13.
1.
That's a 13.
Okay, 13.
Damn. Somebody can't go to Vegas. Or you're on the East Coast, Atlantic City.
Atlantic City. There you go. All right, get a 5, a 2, a 1, and see you jinx these son of a. Okay, I got a 8.
Hey, you gotta have at least one bad one. Come on.
No,
Yeah,
I
you can't be Superman.
Yes, I can. That's what my mom has said. She all said I was good looking, but I think okay, here we go.
Mom's a freaking liar.
No shit. 3, 3, 6, and 5. So wait a 3.
14. Jesus.
How many more times?
You need 6
You need-
total.
You're 6 total.
I need one more. No, that's 6.
That's it?
You
One,
are
one,
you
two,
slayed
three,
that, man. You
four.
kicked my ass.
Yeah.
That's it.
All right. So we got a Paladin. We got Dragonborn. Let's go. I'm going to help you out by using my app, which I will tell you about it later.
Yep.
So
Yep.
we need to pick out what your background is going to be here. So I would suggest because you're a Paladin, that an Acolyte would be a great thing to pick. But you can choose one of the other backgrounds if you'd prefer. So what background do you want to pick to go with your Paladin?
What's an acolyte?
Well, an Acolyte is someone who served a god or something, and
Like an
they
assistant.
were a choir boy.
A magical assistant.
Oh, so I'm like an altar boy.
Yeah, basically.
To a wizard.
Oh, I'm Catholic, so I'll be an altar boy.
Okay, Acolyte.
Okay, acolyte.
Now, what kind of Dragonborn are you?
I'm that kind of just knock you out.
Let me fix this camera.
Are you
So
okay?
What kind of Dragonborn are you? Each kind that you can pick from, if you look on the book where the Dragonborn is, you get a breath weapon.
Will, I love you. You're still talking. The whole place goes down to crap, and you're still talking over there. I love it.
Yeah, and you also get to pick what color you are. So
I want to be
breath
blue.
weapon and color. Which one? What do you want?
I want to be blue.
Okay, now you just said blue?
I want to be blue.
All righty. So that means you get a 30-foot line of lightning, and you have resistance to all lightning damage.
I can live with that.
All right. So I'm back.
Hey, how you doing?
So let me see. Let's try not to do that again.
Okay, so I'm a
All right.
dragon.
So can you tell me? I am sorry, but the app doesn't allow me to do it until this point. What were your rolls again? Well, actually, we need to pick what goes where, because the Dragonborn, you get a +1 to your charisma, and you get a +2 to your strength. And like John said, for a Paladin, you need to be fairly strong, and you need to have great charisma, because that's what does your spells. And of course, Constitution helps everyone, because that's where hit points come from. So where do you want to go? Where?
I don't want to say this isn't all just material. I do have some kind of girth here. Okay, anyways, okay. So all right, well, I get a +2 in strength, which I need. And in charisma, I get a +1. So and I have,
you already picked your everything?
well, you just said that.
Oh, okay. So what number do you have though for your strength?
I'm going 15.
Okay, 15 there. All right. And your charisma is what number?
My charisma will be 14.
All right. So what's your dexterity? This can be a dump stat if you want it to be, because your weaponry is mainly you're going to use your strength.
Yeah, so
But a lot of the saves are dexterity saves. So what number do you want to put?
okay, so I'll go 13.
Okay. And then now what do you want to be in your constitution. That's what decides your hit points. Now, you do get a D10, I believe, so you're pretty stout to start with.
Okay, so I'll go 14 there.
Okay, 14 there. So where are you stupid? Intelligence or wisdom?
I think, okay, if I'm a paladin and I'm all religious, I kind of get dumber. I get dumber anyplace else. So where would that be? Would that be wisdom? Or would that
I
be
would suggest your wisdom's higher then.
Okay, so I'll go 12 wisdom. Yeah, 12 wisdom and 8 intelligence.
Okay, now you get insight and religion as skills from being your Dragonborn automatically. You also get to pick 2 skills from the choices of athletics, intimidation, medicine, or persuasion. So which one do you want? Now remember, athletics is strength-based. That's moving boulders, jumping high. Intimidation, we know what that is. Medicine basically just means you can heal people really good, and you can use one of the health packs to stabilize someone. And persuasion, well, you know what persuasion is. It's how you doing.
Yeah, I don't see a paladin going, hey, how you doing?
Well, actually, with their charisma, persuasion is a good pick, but you don't have to play the paladin that way unless you want to.
Right. So, I mean, this is for Alex one-shot deal, right?
Right.
All right. And I had to close the book because the page is part of the book. So
that's okay. So let me guess. Athletics and intimidation are the 2 you want to pick?
Yeah, I would think so.
That's what I thought. Okay, so your hit points are automatically maxed out with your D10 plus your Constitution bonus, so the 2. So you get 12 hit points to start with. Now, you get to pick a martial weapon. So do you want that to be melee or ranged? Melee means you can do battle axe, flail, glaive, great axe, great sword. Some of these are two-handed, by the way. A lance, longsword, a maul, a morning star, rapier, scimitar, short sword, warhammer. Or if you want to be ranged, you can choose a hand crossbow, a heavy crossbow, a long bow, which doesn't work for a paladin, a blowgun, a net.
Yeah, for me, a paladin would be up front, a little bit of wit works. So he would be up front.
So I can tell you, I personally would do a battle axe because it's a D8, or you can do a D10 if you use both hands. That's what I would pick, but you get a ton of choices with your melee weapon. So you can have a battle axe, a glaive, great axe.
I can't see a paladin with an axe. I see him with a sword. But I see him with a sword with a shield. I mean,
you don't have to have your shield. You're going to get one, but I think you can pick to not have a shield. You can choose to not have one if you want, is what I'm saying. So you can be a two-handed weapon and use no shield, or you can have a one-handed weapon and use a shield, whichever you want to do. Most paladins are pictured with a shield, but you don't have to use one.
Well, let's go with the shield, and I guess.
So what weapon would you like to use then? You need a one-handed weapon. So you want a long sword, a rapier, a scimitar, a short sword?
No, a long sword.
Long sword. Okay, now a long sword is versatile, which means it's a D8 slashing damage. Or if you drop the shield and use both hands, it's a D10. It has that ability. You can use it either or.
Okay.
All right, so now here's the choice. Do you want another martial weapon, or do you want the shield? You had already mentioned you want the shield, right?
Yeah, let's go with the shield.
Okay, so would you like 5 javelins that you can throw, or would you like a simple weapon, melee?
Melee.
Melee. Okay, so what simple?
No. Actually, let's go with the javelins.
I was about to say I think javelin would be better.
Yeah, let's go with the javelins.
Okay. So you want a priest pack or explorers pack?
What's in the other one? What's in the first one?
Okay, John, remind me the page. It was right after the backgrounds. What are the?
I'll be right back. John, like,
151.
Oh, thank you.
You said priest or what?
Explorer. Yeah, it's a priest or explorer, and
Well, the priest box is worth almost twice as much as the explorer box, just money wise. But I don't know that I know much about what's in them.
well, it's on 151. Tells you what's in. Basically, he gets alms, incense, and vestments. And the Explorer pack just has rope and rations and torches. So, oh, hey, Tony. Explorer or Priest pack?
So the priest pack just gives me stuff to put on.
It gives you preacher stuff that you can do. The Explorer pack gives you like torches and rope. One is worth 10, the other is worth 19 gold.
Give me the priest pack.
Priest, okay. You also get automatically, you're wearing chainmail and you get a holy symbol.
Okay.
All right. And so that is your level 1 paladin. So with my app, this is, I love this thing. This is what you're looking like right now. You have 12 hit points. Your speed is 30. Your armor class is 18 with your shield. You have a proficiency of 2. You have an initiative bonus of 1. Your saving throws are listed there, as well as what your modifier is for all the numbers. And then this is what your block looks like with your proficiencies and everything. If it's highlighted in green, you're proficient, and that's what all your rolls are.
You definitely kicked my butt.
Yeah. And then this is what's interesting is because of your strength and your proficiency and everything, you have on your longsword, for example, you get a +5 to hit at level 1. And when you hit, your damage is a D8 + 3.
Oh, okay.
And you get javelin too. And javelins have 30 feet of range or 120 feet with disadvantage.
The idea being that your character is so strong that when they hit, that weight behind the weapon adds to the damage. So your strength is added on to your longsword and javelin.
Yeah. And when we do your weapons for your tabaxi, you'll get a bonus for those too because you're a dex character and those are dex weapons, but we haven't done that yet. But you also get lay hands as a paladin. That means at level 1, you have 5 HP that you can choose to give to yourself and heal yourself, or you can heal someone else, or you can use those 5 points to cure someone of a disease or ailment. That's one of the cool things that paladins have. And then what we do now is get a little crazy.
Ooh, I like crazy.
And we level this baby up to 9. So let's see here. Let's turn to Paladin in the book. LMNOP. Yeah, the P's after. All righty.
Yeah, you slayed those rolls. I had 3 single digits and then 2 17s. So I had like I had the polar extremes.
Oh, yeah. I mean, believe me, it's all the new case I bought. Look.
Wait, it's not the amazing dice that you got?
Yeah, that too.
All right. So page 83, Tony.
83. Okay, hold on. I gotta flip this over because I'm using the one out of the book. Yeah.
Okay. So you can flip back to your stuff in the back if you want after looking at this, but this is up to level 9. This is everything you get.
Okay, right here, yeah.
So go ahead and you have Divine Sense and the Lay on Hands.
Yep.
Divine Sense, we'll worry about that later. Level 2, you get to pick your fighting style. Spell casting, you get spell casting and your Divine Smite. Level 3, you get Divine Health and your Sacred Oath. That's when you pick what kind of paladin you are. Then at 4, you get an ability score improvement, or you can choose a feat. 5, you get an extra attack. 6, Aura of Protection. 7 is a Sacred Oath feature. 8 is ability score improvement. And level 9, you don't really get anything except third level spell slots, and your proficiency bonus increases up to a 4. So let's do that one at a time now. So I'm going to mash level up for Paladin here. So you get your fighting style. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to choose from. There is Protection, which as a reaction, you can use your shield to impose disadvantage when an adjacent enemy attacks someone else. Or there's Interception, which is, I'm sorry, there's something wrong with my tooth. Or you can do Interception, which is you can use a weapon or shield to deflect 1d10 plus your proficiency damage from an adjacent creature as a reaction. Or you got Great Weapon Fighting, which means you can re-roll 1s and 2s on a two-handed melee weapon attack, but you have a shield, so you only have a one-handed weapon. Dueling is a +2 damage when using a single one-handed weapon, so you get bonus damage. Or you can get a defense. You can get a +1 to your AC when you're in armor. Or there's Blind Fighting, which is 10 feet of blind sight, which is great. And what blind sight is you don't have to actually see. You can be in complete darkness, and as a paladin, you don't have dark vision. Or excuse me, as a dragonborn, you don't have dark vision.
Yep.
But you can still see 10 feet with blind sight.
Well, I mean,
Or the last one is Blessed Warrior, which is you get to have 2 cleric cantrips. So those are your options. Which one would you like? I can go over any one again if you like.
No, the dark vision one I would like.
Oh, the blind fighting?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll go with that. All right. So are you going to roll or do the average for hit points? Since we're leveling you up to 9, I would suggest you just do the average, which is 6 plus your Constitution modifier, rather than you rolling every time. And it is a one shot.
And my Constitution modifier would be
2.
All right. So I'll go. The average would be what?
6.
Plus
so you would get an 8.
Okay.
Every time until as long as your Constitution stays the same, you'll get an 8 every time. So
right.
let's just do that then. So we got that. So now you have 20 hit points, and you gain a few things as a paladin. You can sacrifice. What you get is your Divine Smite and spell casting. So now, I know you're not going to be able to flip to it, but in page 83, this gives you your information. You now have 2 first-level spell slots, and you have Divine Smite. And what Divine Smite is you can sacrifice or burn a spell slot to deal 1d8 radiant damage plus 1d8 extra damage on undead and fiends when you hit with a melee weapon attack. In other words, this is what I was doing with you when I was that 20th level Conquest Paladin during the one shot that I ran, is I was able to burn my 5th level spell slot, and that allowed me to roll an extra, I think, 5d8 on top of my regular damage,
right,
plus the bonus action spell that I did. So that's how I was able to do so much damage to you. So at level 2, you get 1d8 that you can add on top of your regular damage when you hit, but you burn a spell slot doing that. In other words, you lose one of them, so you can't use it. until you finish a long rest and get it back. So that's what that is. So let's level you up to 3 here. All right, so this is where you have an important decision to make. Now, Alec had said, don't be a good character. So you have a bunch of different choices. These are the Paladin Archetypes that you can choose from. You can be an Ancient Paladin. You're a Warden of the Natural World. You can be a Conquest Paladin, which is what I was during the one-shot, which is you crush your opposition to establish order. Crown, which is you serve the realm, you serve a crown. Devotion, you're a holy warrior. Glory, you just like leading your allies to glory in battle. You can be Redemption Paladin, which is even the darkest soul can be shown the light, which probably isn't a good pick for this one-shot since we're not supposed to be good. Vengeance, you become an agent of justice or whatever your form of justice is, so you can still be evil with that if you wanted to. There's Watcher, which is you protect the world from the outsiders. And then finally, there is the Oathbreaker Paladin. And what that is it's only found, it's in the Dungeon Master's Guide. It's basically a way for you to play evil. So yeah,
paladins are often so good that it's super rare to find an evil paladin, but they exist. They just worship an evil deity to an extreme extent.
A devotion paladin and you were a holy warrior and you lost your faith in your god. Well, that would mean at level 3 you could be an Oathbreaker, so you would be the opposite.
It's the yin to the yang kind of thing.
Certain spells and things that are associated with being an Oathbreaker, you get things that are more evil, kind of.
I dropped a comment in the chat. I'm not sure if Adam is still here. I just had questions about. I don't want to interrupt, but if he can comment in the chat, sorcerer origins. Sorry.
All right. I have 2 things. One, Oathbreaker sounds great. I think that for a one-shot, that'd be awesome. And 2, can I go to the little boy's room?
Yeah.
Okay.
Feel free.
Okay. Hold on.
I'll put you down for Oathbreaker.
Okay. I'll be right back.
Yeah, I'm looking over Sorcerer Origins, which is sorry, they're called Sorceress Origins. The online app I'm using, D&D Beyond, only without paying gives you one of the choices, but the 2 books I've got give about 6 or 7 choices.
You guys have got to start using this app. It is amazing. It has like almost all the choices. It's called 5th edition character sheet, I believe. And it's an app. I unlocked
Is it
ability
a website or is it only on the phone?
I don't know if it's only on the phone, but that's where I use it. But it's it gives you all these choices to make a character and everything. But if you want to level up your character, you do have to buy, and it's like $2. I bought mine, so I paid $2. And I can level up.
Is it a one-time price or is it a monthly price?
No, it's a one and done.
Nice.
And it's amazing. I love it. And it lists all the stuff you can do, which it's a bit wanky on when it lists. It's a bunch of words all put together, but everything else makes it all right.
What does the logo for the app look like?
It should be like a D20 looking thing in green.
I see.
And if you could show it to me, I could tell you. Yes, that is it. That is it.
A green with a black background, yeah?
Yeah.
There you go. Give it a try. So that's what we're here for, because we're learning some fun apps. I use D&D Beyond up to now. But, and it's been easy to level up characters, but if you pay $2 and you're done, then why not?
Yeah, this is easier to me, so I use it. But anyway, Tony.
Yes.
So now we are up to doing level 4 of your Paladin, and this is where we get the ability score improvements. So you can choose one ability and up it by 2, or you can choose 2 abilities and up them by 1, or you can choose a feat and not up any of your scores and use the feat.
What do you mean by feat?
A feat is something that you get like in our first campaign, I chose the feat Lucky, which meant every day I had 3 luck points. And if I did a bad roll, I could say I'm spending a luck point and I could just re-roll it for free.
That's so the way I throw dice, that sounds so awesome.
Then I would suggest you choose a feat and go with Lucky.
Yeah, let's go with Lucky.
But why don't we pick that at level 8, because you get another ability score improvement. And for now, let's choose 1 or 2 scores to increase instead. So right now you're looking at a -1 with intelligence. You got a +3 with your strength and a +2 with constitution and charisma. Now, charisma is your spellcasting ability. It would behoove you to up that. It's always nice to improve strength, but you're already at a 17, and constitution is always good to increase too, because that's your hit points. So what do you want to do?
Wait a minute, hold this. What am I at a 17 at?
You have a 17 in your strength.
Oh, okay. I had it at 15 for some reason.
Yeah, but you get a +2 because you're a Dragonborn.
Gotcha. Okay.
You have a 17 in strength, 13 in dexterity, 14 in constitution, 8 in intelligence, 12 in wisdom, and a 15 in charisma.
Oh, 15. Okay. Gotcha.
So now you have the option to increase one of them by 2 or 2 of them by 1 each.
Well, they're all pretty good. So, I mean, I would probably go 1 in intelligence.
Well, no, you don't need intelligence, though. That doesn't really help you at all. As a paladin, constitution helps because that's hit points. Strength helps because that's how you get your attacks stronger. And charisma helps because that's your spell casting ability, and it also increases your DC, which is what people have to roll against to fail or save.
Then I would up my charisma by 2.
Okay. All right. And so now we're at level 4. So before we go any farther, let's take a look at what you can do at level 4. Let's see. First off, your lay on hands, you now have 20 points. And you can use them in 5-point increments. In other words, you can't heal someone by 2. You can heal someone by 5, 10, 15, or 20.
Okay.
Or yourself, or cure something, but you'd lose 5 of your lay on hands. Right now you're at 20, which is great. You have 3 first-level spells, and you can do a few things here. So let's see. You are now immune to disease because you're a paladin.
Okay.
Once a day, you can channel divinity. Let's see. Did I do that right? No, I did not do that right. So let's see. You get a few things with Oathbreaker. We'll have to look that up later. And you've got the Divine Smite. You already know that. And you have the immunity to disease that I mentioned. And you increased your reservoir of healing power. You can also, your Divine Sense that you got at first level, that means you can detect the location of any celestial, fiend, undead, or any consecrated or desecrated place or object within 60 feet. So you probably won't have to worry about that, though.
All
right. Let's see here now. So let's increase you now to level 5.
Extra attack.
So, level 5, you get an extra attack. That's plain and simple. You attack twice. So what that means is you have the attack action. You can have another attack action. You have the bonus action. And if it applies, you can have a reaction and a free action, which is you talk or you yell out something or you move your movement all in one turn. You have all those options.
So that's like 6 attacks.
No, I said those are not all attacks. Those are just things you can do on your turn. You have an attack, another attack option, a bonus action you can do, a reaction if it's available, and a free action. And then, of course, you have your movement. So those are all your options you can do now on your turn. So what you need to think about is when you go and pick your spells for first, second, third level and all, the Paladin gets a lot of spells that they can use on a bonus action, which means I attack you with this sword. Oh, I missed. I attack you again. Oh, I hit. I use my Divine Smite. I burn a spell slot, and I'm going to increase this by another D8. Oh, and I'm also going to use my bonus action to cast this spell that when I hit, I do double damage. So you can do all that on one turn.
Okay, that's cool.
See, Paladins are nice. All right, so now we go up to 6th level in the Paladin. Now we're at 7th level in the Paladin. And now we're at 8th level. So this is where you wanted to do the lucky.
Okay.
So we got you lucky. So now I'm leveling you up to the 9th level and final level. So here is what you look like as a Paladin of 9th level.
Nice. Oh.
You have 76 hit points. That's your proficiency. That's your charisma and all that bonuses and everything. Then we have that list is everything that you can do. I suggest you just take your player's handbook and look up what the DM's guide says online for the Oathbreaker to know all of that. But you also you have a +7 to your spell attack. It'll focus. Your spell save DC is a 15, and you get 4 first level slots, 3 second level slots, and you have 2 third level slots. And remember, you can burn any amount of those for your Divine Smite, or you can use your spells to cast them. So let's look at here. You got the lucky. You also have lay on hands, and lay on hands is how many lay on hands do we have? Oh, would you look at that? You can heal 45 for lay on hands. So that means if someone is at 10 hit points, you can make them be at 55 hit points if you use all your lay on hands.
Oh,
Or
really?
if John's lying on the ground and he's poisoned, you can use 5 of your 45 and instantly fix his poisoning. He is no longer poisoned. And then you also have a +7 to hit now, which is awesome. And this is what your stuff looks like. You have a +7 to intimidation and athletics. And you also get some insight and some religion bonuses there too, just because. And yeah, that is the 9th level Paladin. So you're a pretty strong dude, my man.
Hey, I'm going to kick ass, hopefully.
Yeah. Now, let me read in here on the handbook. Let's figure out how many spells you can have. Let's see here. Spell casting. Okay. Spell slots. To cast one of your paladin spells, you must expend. Yeah. Okay. You prepare a list of paladin spells that are available for you to cast, choosing from the paladin spell list. When you do so, you choose a number of paladin spells equal to your charisma modifier plus half your paladin level rounded down. These spells may be of a level for which you have slots. So what's your charisma modifier? Well, if I look on here, your modifier is a +3. If you split 9 in half and round down, that's a 4.
Right.
So that means you can have 7 spells that you know.
Cool.
And they can be let's see, how many spell slots do you have of so you got 4, 3, and 2. You have 9 spell slots. So you can have 7 spells that you know, and you could put them in You could make them be 2 third-level spells, 3 second-level spells, and 2 first-level spells, and that be what you know.
Okay.
Or you can make them be 4 first-level spells and 2 second-level spells, and you don't know any third-level spells, but you have those slots you can burn with your Divine Smite. So however you want to do it. You get 7 spells that you know, and these are all the slots you get to work with. You have 4 first level, 3 second level, and 2 third level. And you'll have to figure out what spells are what, but just pay attention. With the Paladin, you get a lot of spells that are bonus action, which is great. And you have regular spells too. And I'm going to save this character in case you need to know what some of your stuff is. Like your spell attack's a +7, your DC's a 15. And yeah. So is there any questions on either one of them that we did? John, you got anything you want to say with what your character you've been doing? Go, Tony.
I mean, both he and I are pretty drunk at this point. I think we're just we're good with where we are. I think spend the week leveling up and looking at what you can do at each level and what you want to add to what you've got. But I think you're going to be ready to go, man.
Oh yeah. I just want to say, rewind on YouTube. On YouTube is the greatest thing in the world. But I want to thank you, Big Will, because you did everything for me, and I appreciate that. You gave me more knowledge in the past couple hours than I had for the whole game on the other one.
Ouch.
No, seriously. When we play the game, I appreciate it, but there was a lot of stuff I was missing. A lot of stuff I didn't know how to do. A lot of stuff I didn't even know how to do on the paper. And in the past 2 hours, you gave me everything. I got notes, I got papers, I got things everywhere. It's not even funny, and I appreciate it.
All right. So one of the last things we need to do now is I need to figure out what class I am.
You.
So what we're doing is each one of you guys picked I've got my race for the campaign with JP. I'm a Triton. That's the race I'm going to be. I'll tell you what all is special about the Triton here in a second. But I couldn't decide on a class. So what I did, for those of you watching, was I had all the guys. There's 6 of us total. So I had them all pick, and we all picked a different class. And then I'm going to have these guys help me out, and we're going to roll and see what class I am going to play for at least the first level of JP's campaign. If I love it, I'll stick with it. If I hate it, I'll multi-class and get out of it. Or if I like it and I still want to multi-class, I'll do that. So our choices are a 1 is Ranger, 2 is Sorcerer, 3 is Monk. By the way, you just picked that so you could hear me say the word, didn't you, John? 3 is Monk, 4 is Bard, 5 is Paladin, and 6 is Warlock. So what I want you guys to do is each one of you roll a d20, please. What'd you get? You got a 4? What'd you get, Tony?
I got a 19.
All right. That means you are going to roll a d6 for me and tell me what it landed on. So if you want to put some flair in it, maybe blow on it.
Yeah, blow on it. Ready? Here we go. 1.
Okay, so I am a Ranger. Lesson learned from last time. I'm going to play it a little differently. And I might stick with it this time. I don't know. We'll find out. But I am a Triton Ranger for the new campaign. So anyway, let me tell you what a Triton is. because it's we got to pick from Volo's if we chose. So I picked from Volo's guide. And the Triton is this guy right here.
I mean, it sounds water friendly.
Why would he be a ranger?
Well, I get a strength, constitution, and charisma increase of 1. I can live up to 200 years. I am an average size of a human. I'm a medium size. I have a walking speed of 30 feet and a swimming speed of 30 feet. I can breathe air and water. I also get to cast Fog Cloud automatically as a trait, but I can only do it once per long rest. And at 3rd level, I can do Gust of Wind. And at 5th level, I can do Wall of Water. Charisma is my spellcasting ability for those spells. I can also talk to aquatic animals. I don't understand them. They can't talk back to me, but they understand what I'm saying, basically. And I ignore any drawbacks caused by deep underwater environments or cold. And I can speak, read, and write Common and Primordial. It's not cheating, it's being smart. So that's what I'll be for JP's campaign. So
how do you work that as a ranger, though?
Well, it's simple. I'm basically an Atlantean, sort of. So I mean, they have
He's
range
Aquaman,
just in a different kind of environment than I'm shooting for whales and stingrays instead of deers and antelopes.
Oh, okay.
So here's the question, guys. Do you want me to use like a standard array or point buy, or would you like to see me roll myself?
Roll,
right
baby, roll.
Baby.
Roll, baby, roll. Okay. So I only have 1d6, so I'm going to bring up the roller on digital, or one of you guys can do it. Or John, you want to roll? And let my fate be in your hands?
Hey, you saw what I did for my character. I had 3 single digits.
Let's do it. Let's do it. So I'm going to put you on the screen. And we're going to see. I'm going to write all this down. We got 6 things to go through.
All right, let me get some stuff ready here. Then I was not prepared for this.
I know. It's okay.
All right. Now, my usual 4 Vegas. These are the dice I bought in Vegas, so you know they're legit.
They're hot.
All right. I'm not ready for this. Okay. Sorry, that was very entertaining to watch. Okay.
Actually, it was.
Just a little ASMR for everybody.
How you doing?
Here we go. All right. There we go.
Ooh, a 5, a 6, and
13.
a 2.
So they got a 13 on that one.
That's not bad.
No, not bad. 2 digits, right? We don't want any single digits. Hey, you got a double digit again, but this is an 11.
Okay.
So 9 plus a 2, 11. Let's see if we can do better. Come on now. There we go. 14. 2 6s, but a 2 and a 1.
All right, 14.
Tony's texting me. That's my phone's lighting up. Let's see here. Ooh, that's a 10.
Yeah.
Not my best one, but it's a 10. Hey, still, I've avoided single digits for the first time.
We got 2 more. I'm okay with this so far. It's not the worst.
All right.
What you do is if you have bad rolls, you just say, I'm more of a role play kind of guy.
Right. That's how I play it anyways. Oh, is that a 14 again? There we go.
Yep.
10 plus 4, 14. Looking good.
Wait, 10 plus 4.
Wait, what down?
That's a 10. 6
Oh, okay.
plus
I was
4.
about to say.
14, yeah.
All right. Sorry, my bad.
Get rid of
Math.
the 2, right? There you go.
All right. So shake these next ones extra good here because this is our last roll.
There you go.
I don't know if that's good. You've been drinking.
All right. Oh, jeez. There were
That's
2
either
ones.
really, really good or really, really bad.
There were 2 ones. There were 2 ones. So this is a 10.
Oh.
Sorry.
Hey, I got 2 14s. That's great. All right. So
hey,
my
no
scores are-
no single digits though for that whole
no
set.
single digits. So my
That's
scores
a
are
rarity for
13,
me.
11, 14, 10, 14, and 10. So I'll start working on my character and everything, and we'll see what happens.
Dice got
Yeah, they
drunk
got drunk when he breathed on them. I knew that happened. How you get 2 snake eyes?
It wouldn't be the first. Yeah, 2 1s on that one, but I still got a 6, so that saved the day.
All right. Well, yeah, I guess we're done then. So thanks everybody for watching. I actually didn't know we were going to do it live, but I guess it's good. That means Tony can rewind if he needs to. So we'll see everybody later. Thanks for watching. Thank you guys for dropping by. And hey, next Sunday, playing D&D one shot with Alec on his channel. And then sometime in January, JP's channel, he is the DM doing a
cat's coming out.
campaign.
The cat's coming out in January.